Hi. Hi, Kadine. Good afternoon, Kadine. Good afternoon, all. My name is Sarah Attal, computer engineer, and I'm here to take the panel discussion with Kadine Singh. Kadine is a quantitative research at Google with 7 years of experience. Kadine, hello. Thank you so much for investing your time with us on Saturday morning.
Happy to be here. Thank you for making the time.
In our discussion, Kadine will mention the ambience at Google, challenges, tips to the women who take a career in tech. So let's begin with you. Can you talk more about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Kadine. I'm a quantitative user experience researcher at Google. So that is a very, very long job title. I guess the first thing is I'm not a software engineer, sorry. But I'm a mechanical engineer. My degree is mechanical engineering and statistics. And I pivoted my career into tech because I thought that tech was really interesting and solving like things like problems that I wanted to be able to. And so what I do now as a quantitative user experience researcher is I use my engineering skills, but on a product team with software engineers to help them understand what users want in a product that we're building and to help them build a better product. And the engineering part means that I am doing more data science type things. I'm doing log analyses, I'm doing surveys or just anything like very quantitative or very analytical to help make better products for people using Google Maps. I work on Google Maps. Does it make sense to stop presenting just for the talk? Or do you want to keep the questions up? Whatever you want.
Yes. The question.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. I'll cool. Sorry, I'm just fixing my screen, but all good now.
Okay. So
does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about my job?
Yes, me. Hello?
Yeah.
Well,
I want to ask you, Kadine, huh? Yes. When you join Google, what's requirement?
Yeah.
He's asking what are the requirements that were mentioned in order to join Google. What were the main tasks that you had to do, and anything you have to do in order to join Google and the team of Google?
I totally have this question also,
yes.
So I will answer it now. It's a good question.
You can answer now or later, as you want. You can answer.
Okay, let's go with your flow, so I can do it later. But yeah,
okay.
We will answer
it. What as you talk a little bit about what you do. So, what a typical day for you is like at Google?
Yeah, what is a typical day like? So honestly, this question is a little bit difficult for me to answer because all days are kind of different. What is easy for me to answer is what I generally do as part of my job. So I'll kind of answer that. So for my job, the whole point is to to be the voice of the user and to try to make our products, Google Maps is what I work on, try to make Google Maps better for users. And I have to do that using all of the data that we have. So at Google and any tech product, you already know we collect a lot of logs. And so, right, we have a lot of product logs. Logs exist for particular reasons. We are very, very safe with our logs, so we have a lot of privacy things. But anyway, half of my job is doing logs analyses. So writing scripts, writing some code to answer questions, to look at our metrics, to do some sort of analysis to see if our product is working in the US, is it also working in Lebanon? Is it also working? I'm from Trinidad, so is it working for Trinidad? Are people using our product in different ways? If we launch somewhere new, we should be monitoring that. So I'm doing some logs analyses. I also work on experiments. So I help guide our teams as we're running A/B tests. So Google is pretty famous for running A/B tests, and we'll do this routinely as part of product development. And so I help teams run experiments by figuring out what are the different treatments we're testing, what are the right metrics, what are the right thresholds for the metrics, what backstop criteria is. So I also work on experiments. Another thing I work on is large-scale surveys. So sometimes you don't want to just look at your own logs. Sometimes you want to actually ask people what they're doing. And so I work on surveys as well. So that is kind of my typical day. I think here it would also make sense to just give an idea of what my role is relative to the other roles. So I'm a quantitative user experience researcher. I'm not a software engineer. But let's see, at Google, regular product teams are made up of engineers, also product managers, and also people in UX, so UXers. So, right, there's the product managers who kind of manage the entire project. They're the engineers who actually write the code, and then there are the UXers, and we do a lot of different things. So within UX, there's design, so UX designers. There's also UX researchers, so people who do some sort of research to understand our users and then bring it back to the team. And then within UX research, that's where I am, there is qualitative research and there's quantitative research. And so the qualitative research are people who talk to users. So if you're in tech, you've probably heard things like usability studies. So qualitative researchers are the people who do that. You have to test your product, right? You can't just write the code and ship it. You have to test it with users, and so that's what researchers do. And so qualitative researchers do that. The quantitative part, I keep saying I'm quantitative, but that's because I can't talk to users. I would not be good at it. But I do the part in trying to understand our product and evaluate our product with logs or with surveys. That was a very long answer, but hopefully that explains more what my role is.
Very, very detailed and interesting reply. So the famous question, how did you get hired at Google?
Right, it's a good question. So let's see, because I'm not a software engineer, I didn't get hired on campus. So actually, sorry guys, I should have given you more context about me. So I'm from Kadine. I've been at Google for 7 years. I work for Google Maps, you know that. But I'm not, so I live in San Francisco right now, so I'm joining in from San Francisco, but I'm from Trinidad, so I'm Caribbean. I'm from a tiny island, I'm not American. But my story is that I left home and came to the US for school. And then after school, when I graduated, I was trying to find a job, and then I got into tech. So let's see, how did I actually get into tech? Because I'm not a software engineer, I didn't get hired out of university, which is what some software engineers do. Google does a lot of outreach and does go to universities and try to explain our jobs and recruit people on campus. That didn't happen for me. So I applied online like everybody else, but people can totally get hired if you apply online. So I applied online. I applied for a very specific role. I think I was telling Sarah before, for me, it's really important that you stand out if you apply, kind of blind. So I was applying for a very specific role, and I did my research for that role. So I made sure I understood exactly like everything that I could find out by just Googling about this role. So I knew what the team did. I knew some of their launches. I knew some of their research. And when I wrote my letter, my cover letter and my application, like I explained all of that. But I think that helped me stand out because I clearly understood what the role was. And so then I got a recruiter reached out. And for Google, the process is a little long. For big tech, it is. So if a recruiter contacts you, then that's amazing because like the hiring process or hiring at Google is very competitive. So there are thousands of resumes that get sent in. Do a good job, make your resume stand out, make your cover letter stand out. When the recruiter contacts you, then that starts the formal process. At Google, you'll do usually kind of like a quiz thing at the beginning. Sorry, what is the right word? You'll fill out an exercise at the beginning, like write some things, tell us who you are, tell us why you want this job, tell us in your own words how you would be good at whatever job you're applying for. If you pass that, then that's great, and then you'll move on to actual interviews. And so the first set of interviews are technical phone screens. So it's a phone call, you'll get a call, you'll talk with someone in that job who's an actual interviewer. You'll have to answer questions. I'm guessing most of you are like technical or on the software side. So you will have like coding questions. For my job, it does require a coding question. So you usually do that as part of your technical screen. You might have another technical screen. We do 1 or 2. If you pass it's COVID, so there's no on-site, so everything's on the screen. But then you have a full slate of interviews. So you'll have a full day. I think it's usually 6 to 8 interviews. We just run you through like very specific different kinds of interviews. And so for Google, what we care about is a couple different things. One, just role-related knowledge. So specifically for your job, can you do these, like what is required of your role? For technical jobs, for coding jobs, obviously you'll be like coding live, like whiteboarding in an interview. We also ask questions about like collaboration, like how you work with other teams, if you understand like what the different roles are that you'll be working with. And then we also have like interviews around just Googliness. And so maybe you've heard this like Googliness before. And so for Google, we really care. So I guess the best way to answer this, I think, is for Google, we want to keep you long term, right? Like Google is a big place. I've moved around from different teams. So when you come to Google, we hope that you find a place where you can be long term and you can grow and you can work on different things. So the Googliness part is just making sure that you are interested in just learning more, that you're curious, that you're asking questions, that you're just like invested long term generally in tech and in like all of the different things that Google does. And that you could fit in on any team. So yeah, those are kind of what we look for. If you pass those, then you will be hired. But yeah, there is a process.
Yes, good answer. So how to balance between work and personal life?
Yeah, that is a good question. It's a hard one for me to answer because for me, I've always tried to work on things that I really care about, that I really believe in. And then if I believe it, then I will. So for me, because I work on Google Maps and I work on our electric vehicles, and I really like that. So in my free time, I like read about electric vehicles anyway. So for me, it's kind of hard, like it blurs the balance between work and home. But I try to, whatever I'm working on, I try to find the part of it that like I personally like. And so then work is more fun for me. And I don't have to worry about work-life balance as much. Yeah, sorry. I should have thought of more answers to this. But I'd say like you have to do what's right for you. In terms of work-life balance, it is important to like take time away from work. It is important to rest and recharge, so that you can like be better when you do show up at work. Yeah. I think I don't have kids, so that makes it easier for me right now. I really feel for like all the parents who are doing like that. If you have to stay at home and take care of your kids, then that's really a lot of extra work. And then work-life balance would be a lot different, I think, in my mind.
Yes, yes. So let's move to tech questions.
Yeah.
What do you notice a lack of women in technology? Much.
Yeah. Yes. Tech. So I'm in Silicon Valley. I'm in San Francisco. So I'm in the center. Is there a lack of women in tech? Yes. Are we trying to fix it? Yes. In tech, we'll talk a lot about, at Google, we'll talk a lot about DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And yes, we want more women in tech. And we want more, just like more diverse people in tech in general. And so there definitely is a lack. I do see it, I do feel it. I do think we are trying to make it better. But it is really important to have a diverse workforce. We'll say this a lot on our teams, but if you have a diverse team building a product, you will have a better product. For Google, remember, we're building products, hopefully, that people all around the world will use. And so it's really important that you have people building the product who represent people from all over the world. Because if you have, I mean, this is what we say, but if you have the stereotypical white young male person building a product, they're going to build a product based on what they think the product should be, which will just be for themselves. And that's why it is important to like have diverse teams and more women building products. And so tech is trying to be better here.
Yes. How do we encourage them to carry that? Or what do you think?
How do we encourage more women to be in tech?
Yes. How? Do you have any idea? A male domain. Yes.
Yeah. How do we get more women in tech? I do have
maybe in like schools. The culture in schools would be an idea also.
Yeah, totally. So what I try to do is try to mentor more people, right? Because this problem is you need more women who are doing like computer science to then get hired. And even there, like you're saying, like in the schools for computer science, we need more women. And so my approach is to mentor more students. So even like in the high school that you went to, like try to talk to the students who are there, like explain what tech is, like get young girls interested in this stuff. Because it's not that like women can't do it. We definitely can. We're smart enough. Men and women are equally smart. Men and women are equally like capable of doing engineering. my sister and I are both engineers. My dad's an engineer, and he's the one who's like be an engineer. Like women can totally do it. Sometimes they just need to like understand that they can or see people who are doing it. So like for everybody on this call, like tell the you know, the young girls in your life, like people in your family or people in your circle, people who went to your high school, or even like the younger kids, explain to them that like what tech is, like get them excited. Even beyond before that, get them interested in math and science, like STEM, like Sarah was talking about when we talked earlier. Like get interested in that stuff. Like women can do it, girls can definitely do it, and you guys know this. And that will mean that more girls end up in computer science, which means that more girls can work in tech. I think there's the other side of when women are already in tech, like the women who are here. When you're in tech, you should feel part of the team and make the way for people behind you, but you should also take care of yourself when you're in tech. And so for that part, I'd be like, find the other woman on your team. At Google, we have big community groups, like we call them. So there's one for women and a woman at Google. And so it's a big community. And so we'll have women at Google in San Francisco. And so we'll just have meetings. And it's just nice to remember that there are more people. Maybe we go through like some struggles, like being a woman in tech. And it's good to have community to talk about it or to figure out, hey, this happened to me. Did it happen to you too? Let's do something so it doesn't happen again. That sort of thing.
Nice. Yes. So someone took. Okay. What challenges you talk about one challenge at, so what the challenges in your work environment do you think?
Yeah. So I guess you do feel sometimes in a lot of meetings like you're the only woman there. For sure, in a lot of meetings that I'm in, I'm the only woman there. I think over time, I don't notice it as much anymore, or I've learned how to deal with it. This one is also interesting, and I'll share it with you guys. But sometimes I think about if I have a big presentation, and I know the room will be mostly engineers, so it'll be mostly men. I think about like what I will look like what I'll wear that day, because I don't want it to be like too bright or too like, I don't know, like too feminine, too pink, or I don't want to wear like make my hair too like pretty, because I want to be taken more seriously. And that for me has been really interesting. In that I don't think like women in tech need to pretend to be men to be taken seriously. So in some way, like we shouldn't have to worry about like, what am I wearing? Like, am I wearing like a pink color or something? You shouldn't have to worry about these things. You should be able to wear it and not worry about it and still do your job and still be taken seriously. So I mean, those are just two things. But I do have thoughts on, I think over the years, I've been at Google for like 7 going on 8 years now. I think the really nice thing about tech is that it's very meritocratic. So if you're good at your job, people know that. And so for me, that's kind of what I have like fall back on. Like, don't worry about all these other things, or try not to. As much as possible, like, you're smart, you're here for a reason. Do your job really well, and people will respect that. And so, like, I've more tried to focus on that. And so, just like showing up, I am a woman in tech. I'm not gonna worry about like trying to like fit in or trying to like, you know, like not to ignore that. But I'm just gonna do my job and do it really well, and you have to pay attention. And so that has kind of been my way of approaching it.
So there is an appreciation in your work when you do it well, and yes, this is very good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
do you what do you want to talk to the woman? What do you want to give as a message to the woman, or in your life, message to encourage them, and a typical role or message from your life?
I'd say don't second guess yourself. Don't question yourself. Don't think like, should I be here? What should I like look like? Like, am I smart enough to do this job? No one else is here. Like, we need to stop second guessing ourselves. For me, like my dad has been really like helpful in this because growing up, like I really liked math and science. And like my dad is an engineer, so he always kind of said, you can do it too. I can do the job, and I know what the job is like, and you like math and you like science, and you can totally be an engineer. And so that really helps, because even if, so I'm a mechanical engineer, so when I went to college, there were 5 out of 50 kids, 5 out of 50 who were, I think, women, right? So I'm used to being in a room where there aren't many women, and it gets into your head like, should I be here? Where's everybody else? But I'm trying to learn more and more, like, I'm smart enough to be here. I know the same things you know. Like, I like doing this, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna be just as good as you. And yeah, then I don't have to worry about it. So that is kind of my approach. Yeah, try not to get into your head too much and worry about it. Just do your job and do it well, and find the part in it that you like. And do that for other people too. So pass that along. For me, like I see like my young cousins, like who are growing up, and they're like 10, 12 now. So it's just telling them like, hey, like, do you like, well, if you like math, you don't have to. Not everybody has to be an engineer. But like the stuff is like cool, it's interesting. Like here's different jobs you can do. Like here are different types of engineering. Like you can totally do this. So just, sharing it and passing it on.
Beautiful message. Do you have any question to Kadine? Thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you. I hope this was interesting. I hope it helped somebody.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kadine, again. Does anyone need to ask any question for Kadine, or we're finally done? So does anyone have any questions from our participants? Okay, so it seems all is well. Thank you, Kadine, again. We really enjoyed the session. It was very beneficial, and the advices you gave were very interesting, and the experience you taught us will give every woman and every one of us, even if it's a guy, it will give the courage for each one of us to improve his or herself in work, and to always push and work forward, not to limit ourselves for a small project or a small work. Always we have to go through our dreams, and not to limit ourselves for just later. No, but we should work forward for a better job and a better life experience. Thank you so much, Kadine, again. And thank you, Sarah, also for this beautiful interview. We had a competition before starting the interview with you. It was a short competition, and now we will be announcing the winners. If you want, you can stay with us for sure, and you will be welcomed for sure to stay with us. So I am waiting for Abed until he gives me the final results in order to announce the top 5 winners and announce the prizes for this workshop.
Okay, I will stick around. Can I say one more thing that I just remembered?
For sure. Yes, sure.
Cool. So I didn't mention like why it's important to have women in tech. So I like to ask the question, but I forgot to mention this point. We can make it stronger, which is you need a diverse team to build a product if you want the product to work for the whole world. And there are like really, really serious implications for this. And I talk about this with my teams a lot, so I do want to share it here, which is the design or the way we build products now, like even beyond tech, like is very male focused. So there's like a really famous example of car accidents. Men getting more car accidents than women, right? Like we know this, men just like get more accidents. Maybe they drive more, potentially too, but women die more. Women get in less car accidents, but in more of those accidents that they do get, they die more. And that's really sad, but that's also because of design. And so that's because when cars are designed, they're mostly tested from like men driving. And so women, because just your body is different, we tend to be like a little shorter or a little smaller or less.
You're tiny.
Yeah. And so that has real serious implications for like your finished product. And so that is why like you need more women like building these products. You need more women like testing these products so that you build a car that's safe for men and for women. And there's tech implications here too. So even just like the size of your phone, the bigger, like men usually have bigger hands than women. Exactly. And so they're like, this is something that we do think about. Like men can easily, I watch my boyfriend do this all the time, but he can just use the phone with one hand. He like takes pictures, he takes videos, he does all these things because like it's big enough for him to reach the full screen. For me, I'm always like doing this. Like it's not big enough. And this is right, just a more tech example. But this is just one of the reasons why you need people, men and women, building products if you want to build a product for men and women. And the world is half men and half women. So we need women to build products for the like other half of the world. And so I tell my teams this, but it is really important. Like there are actual, like this stuff impacts the stuff that we build in the real world. So we need more women, get more women into tech.
We hope so.
Awesome, Kadine. Thank you so much again. So basically, guys, please, we will wait for 5 minutes only to announce the final results of the competition. Meanwhile, I will be announcing the prizes before announcing the names of the winners. So basically, the top 5 winners will win with us. Sarah, can you use your mic? Okay, thank you. So basically, the prizes will be a free course with Google. 5 winners will be getting this course. The course will be just mainly TensorFlow, Angular, and Firebase. Main 3 points that we were discussing the whole session previously with Sana and Amar. So the course will be very interesting for the winners. And congratulations from now for the top 5 winners. I will be announcing the names after 5 minutes. So please, guys, stay with us. And after 5 minutes, I will say the top 5 names. Thank you, Kadine, again so much for this beautiful experience shared with us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You want to share anything with us also? I have prepared some questions.
Sure. Me, right?
Yes, it is true.
I do have one thought, and Sarah and I kind of talked about it a little bit when I met earlier in the week. So let's see. I said I'm from the Caribbean. So I'm from Trinidad, which is a tiny island. So maybe you guys know Jamaica, right? So Jamaica is like one of the Caribbean islands. It's one of the big ones at the top of the Caribbean. And then like there's a chain of islands all the way down. And so when I think of myself as I'm from Trinidad, but I'm also Caribbean. And I'm part of like all of these like islands. So that's like how I introduce myself. But one of the things I think about a lot in tech is that my country is really tiny. Right? Like when I try to like be like, hey Google, like you should launch this thing also in Trinidad. It's hard for my Google is talking now. Sometimes it's hard because like one small place like is just a small place. So where I'm going with this is you need to expand. And so I'm finding more and more, like the more you like collectively do things together, the more people there are and the more power you have just by numbers. So for, like I'm also doing International Women's Day Women Tech Makers events for Trinidad, but I'm also encouraging them to do it like with the Caribbean, right? Like all of the countries have all of their women tech maker groups, and they should come together. Then it'll be bigger. There's more networking. There's more sharing. And tech is a job that you don't have to like be in an office. And that's one of the actually like really beautiful things. Even in the pandemic, thank God, like we can still work. We can still do our jobs. You don't, right? Like you can do it from anywhere. All you need is a computer. And so what that means if you do things like in a bigger group, like people can work on projects. So people from Jamaica who have like a tech company can be like, I need more people to work, but there's no one in my country, so I will go like hire people from the other places. And so that just creates a bigger market, and that is really powerful. So you're in Lebanon, you're in the Middle East, like group together as much as you can. Like obviously the Middle East is a bigger place than the Caribbean, and you guys probably already do that. But there's power in numbers. So yeah, that's the only other thing I can think of.
Yes, the chapter in Lebanon is small, but in the Middle East will be larger, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I have a question. I think I need to just. Can you tell us a fun fact about you?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Before the pandemic, I used to try to take one trip by myself every year. So just to like travel by myself. So I travel a lot for work, but it's like with my team, but I also try to go one place by myself. And so the first place I went to by myself was like after I graduated, I had enough money to like go travel, was Rome. And that was really fun and really beautiful. But again, traveling as a woman, you have to be more careful. But I was safe, and I went to the Vatican. So I went to Vatican City, and I saw the Pope give like one of his like Sunday address things, like in the square that they have there. And that's my fun fact. I saw the Pope speak, and that was really cool. And I really like this Pope.
So Kantemi, I'm waiting for you here in Lebanon.
Huh?
I'm Azerite. You are most welcome here. I know that Lebanon, meanwhile, and today is going in a pandemic, and the current situation is not that good enough. But trust me, if you come to Lebanon and you visit Lebanon, you will enjoy. Firstly, you will enjoy people. You will enjoy the weather. You will enjoy the different places that you can visit. I'm really saying that Lebanon is really very nice, and you have plenty of activities that you can do. And also, I don't know, I think in America and USA, I think you have met already different Arabic people. So I think you have that experience in talking with some Arabic people, but Lebanese people specifically are really nice, and they always welcome any person coming from abroad. They welcome them with plenty of love and happiness. So I advise you to join us and to visit Lebanon, and you will be most welcome here.
Thank you. I would definitely come. I would love to come to Lebanon. So
hopefully one day.
Yeah, I go to Jerusalem a lot, actually.
Nice.
Yeah. So my boyfriend is Palestinian, and so home for him is Jerusalem. So one day I will tell him we will go to there and also go to Lebanon.
Yes.
So it will happen. I will let you guys know.
Yes, it's very nice idea. Yes.
Okay, so guys, finally, I will be sharing with you the final results for the competition. الكل عم يسمعني. Is anyone? All of you are here. All of you are interested to know who are the winners for today's workshop. So basically, we have 17 participants with us. We can say that we are 14 if we include Francine and Sarah and me. So, okay, so basically, Kadine, I will give you a short recap of our competition. We had a 15-minute competition divided into 2 different sections. The first section was for 5 minutes only. They had to fill a form of 10 questions, and they had only 5 minutes to fill these questions. And the second part of the competition was for 10 minutes. They had to be divided to 4 different teams, and each team they had to discuss between each other a product idea that was. Jad, he has a coffee shop and he needs to improve his coffee shop. So how could they help Jad to improve the coffee shop he has? So we had to take the results basically based on the points of the form solved individually plus the points got from the team as a whole team. So finally, we had different winners because the participants that were participating with us were good enough and they were brave to solve this competition. So first of all, Group 1 got 29 out of 52 quizzes right, and 9 out of 10 on the project idea. So the final note was on 10 for the project idea. They got 9, and for the quizzes out of 32 they got 29. So congratulations firstly for Andrea and for Fuad because they got also 8 out of 8 on the quizzes. They will win with us a free course on Angular or a TensorFlow online course. As well, Adib and Ali, they will win because they won some points only for the quiz. So they will win with us a recharge card from Alpha or Touch based on their phone, $22 of recharge card. As for the other group, we have Wael, who got 8 out of 8 on the score. He will win a Firebase online course. Riham and Wajih will get a recharge card of $22 Alpha or Touch based on their SIM card. As well, Group 2, all will get stickers. The group 3 will get also stickers, but Nahmat, she will get extra also a $22 alpha or touch. Anyway, guys, you can ما لحقتوا تسمعوني enough. You didn't have the chance to bet who is the final winner or not. ما بعرف إذا لحقتوا علي enough. But Abed will be sharing the final results again with you privately. He will be sending you a message on your phone, or we can share them also on the chat box here. And congratulations again for the winners. Thank you so much for this beautiful workshop. We had different training sessions done with on different topics. Thank you again for this beautiful experience. Thank you all for this beautiful experience shared with you. Sarah, you have anything to say?
Someone asked Kadine, Muhammad Nahid, is it all this hard work with Google, or it is another normal companies?
So he was saying if it is trustworthy to work with Google or not.
Yes.
Is it, sorry, is it what? Work with Google?
Is it worthy
to work with Google?
Yeah, yes. I work there.
Definitely, I think.
But I will say, I don't think everybody should work for Google. No. Google is a great place. There are a lot of smart people here. I love working here. I love the things I work on. Do I think I'll stay here forever? No, I'll probably leave at some point, go work on something else. Like, work on something that you care about, work on something that you believe in, work on something that helps, like, make the world better for other people. When I mentor people in my country, I don't tell them you should go to Google. Like, you don't have to. You can do really, really cool stuff. Like, you can start your own company. So you don't have to work for Google, but you can. And I'll say if you want to work for Google, you totally can. You can figure out how to make that happen. Like, I'm from a tiny island. How did I get to Google? So it's possible for anybody to get to Google. Exactly. For sure. Yeah, I think that's it. Is it? But you can. Google is a really like amazing place to work. And you can take like some of those things, like if you start your own company, you can take some of the way that tech works, some of the way that Google works, and bring it back to your own company that you're starting. I do think that Google treats people really well. It treats their employees well. There is a lot of room to like explore and to learn like in the way that we work at Google. And so, yeah, if you take that back to where you are now.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kadine. Thank you for your answer.
So guys, we are waiting for Abed until he shares with you the final correct answers again, as I said previously on the chat box. And the names of the winners also will be announced again and will be sent again on the chat box in case anyone has missed the time I was saying the results. So
yes,
thank you again, and hopefully you had a good session, and hopefully also you wrote your good notes, and good luck. And sorry, I was saying congratulations again for the final winners, and thank you so much, and have a good night all.
Yes, Rasil, I will contact the winners directly, and I will also who's filled the form and shared in the competition.
Okay, great.
We will talk to him privately. So, and we will announce that on our Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram.
Sure, and again, guys, if anyone is interested to join the community, Abed has previously shared with you on the chat box at the beginning of the session, the WhatsApp group link and the link, official link of GDG community. You can easily join our group through the following links. You are most welcome for sure. And thank you all again. Anyone has anything to say or to add before we end our session? Great. It seems not. Thank you so much, Kadine, again. Nice to meet you. And have a good night, all of you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.